we're here on the Premier League Super Week as planned. So Thursday, it's all about Chelsea. If you've tuned in the last 2 days, we've done Liverpool on Tuesday, City yesterday, and today's all going to be about Chelsea. So we're going to talk about Lukaku's a done deal, back to the bridge for 97.5 million. As you've checked our tweet out, we've got an agenda for tonight's show, and we look forward to getting started. So what are you guys saying? Kemi Taiber, evening all. Yeah, good evening, Kemi Taiber. It's good to see you again. Reno6969. Kemi Taiber. Yes, Kemi Taiber on the channel. Ike's back. It's good to see you, Ike. Come on, Derby. We're going to win the cup. Kemi Taiber, EA, up the Rams. We're going to win the cup. Which cup? The League Cup, you mean? It must have been the League Cup there, Kemi Taiber. I don't know about the FA Cup. Can't see that happening. But then again, Derby, we'll do a show on Derby at some point because it's a fascinating what's going on there. Sebulously's back. All right, Sebulously. All right, guys, it's nice to see you. So let's crack on today with today's show about Chelsea. I may as well move it straight over to my screen, actually. It's easier like this. So we're going to focus on a few things. If you saw our tweet earlier, this is what we're going to be speaking about. So we're going to start off with, will Chelsea mount a title challenge? Now, all is what they needed, to be fair, was a striker, in my opinion, to really go to the next level. And I think they will. With Lukaku, Lukaku was a good signing. I think they're going to make sure it's going to go a long way with Man City, but maybe not to the wire. Obviously, if you've seen my show, you know I think Liverpool are going to win the league. Liverpool are the dark horses in all of this. They're the ones that are going to come from nowhere and steal it. But can Chelsea do it as well? I mean, I think they'll be there or thereabouts for sure. There or thereabouts. Don't think Lukaku's got the quality enough in him to win in the league. What do you guys think to the Lukaku transfer? I mean, he's going to play every game because he has no competition, does he? Except if you class Timo Werner, but I wouldn't class Timo Werner as a proper striker. So Lukaku's made a really good move there for himself in Chelsea. He's got a brilliant contract, and you know, there's no one else that's gonna. There's nobody else that's going to challenge for his spot, really. Tammy Abraham's linked with a move away. Apparently he's going to be going to Roma or even Arsenal. And I can't think of any other strikers at the club. All right, Sebulously, hope you're well. Kemi Taiber, it's good that we've got community on this channel. It's a great signing, but for 100 million, if they think they could have got someone better or even two players for that price. Yeah, but they needed a striker. The other strikers that they wanted mustn't have been available, but we've spoken about this many a times on the show with Chelsea. They should have got Haaland. They didn't get Haaland. Which, let's be honest, if Man City get Kane and Chelsea get Lukaku, the only club that Haaland could go to is, I mean, he could go to Bayern Munich, but is Man United now? Really? I mean, who else is going to get Haaland? No one. So maybe Man United get Haaland. They're the only ones. That's why they're staying out of the race for the other players at the moment, because they could have done with Lukaku. Could mate up the Rams. Yeah, up the Rams. Hopefully they can turn around their fortunes over there at Pride Park. So will Chelsea Haaland to PSG? Lol, yeah, probably. That wouldn't surprise me, going to PSG. Imagine that. I mean, they're going to sell Mbappe. Mbappe won't be there by the end of the season, so he could go. He could go. But as I said on the show last night, I think Ronaldo's going to go to PSG to replace Mbappe, and then we're finally going to have Messi and Ronaldo together. But Ronaldo going there is cool. Messi going there is not cool. Let me guys know what you think. So will Chelsea mount a title challenge? Yes, I think they will. I think they don't win it, which I don't think they will win it, but they could win it. I mean, I don't think it's a bad bet at 6-1 for Chelsea to win the league. They got a few new youngsters that are coming in, like that Trevor Chalobah, who I thought was initially Nathaniel Chalobah. When I saw his name, I was like, "What? He's still there at Chelsea?" Because you know Chelsea have loads of players out on loan all the time. I thought it was him, but he plays for Watford. He's been playing for ages, that Chalobah, but it's his younger brother. So it's a strange one. It's a strange one with Chalobah, but he's meant to be really good. He was out on loan at some French team, I think Lorient last year, and he played really well yesterday in his debut, wasn't it, in the League Cup? So Maybe they've got some talent there, Chelsea, so they decide against getting Jules Koundé. Fred, good evening. Yeah, Fred, you're a Chelsea fan. Do you think Chelsea can mount a title challenge? I think they can, and I think that's if they don't, I think the manager will get sacked. You know, he's not going to allow Abramovich is not going to allow Tuchel to come in and then by Christmas they're 10, 15, 20 points behind City. He'll sack him and get someone else in. So, Chelsea mean business this season, and they're going to get a lot of results if they can keep good clean sheets and score goals. Then they've got a chance, right? But the other question is obviously about Chelsea and Jorginho. Jorginho must have had one of the most accomplished years in the history of football. He must have done. Thinking about it, obviously other players have probably done it, but he's won the Euros. I mean, he could have won the FA Cup as well, couldn't he? If they beat Leicester, he won the Euros. He won the Super Cup, and he won the Champions League. So he won what a season that has been for Jorginho. I mean, I've always thought he was a good player, but if there's talks of him getting the Ballon d'Or, I think the Ballon d'Or has really lost its appeal if Jorginho wins Best Player of the Year. I know he's won a lot and he's done really well, but he's not the best player in the world, is he? Even though he's won a lot of trophies. If he was to get the Ballon d'Or, Jorginho, I think it'd be ridiculous. It'd be ridiculous if he won it. I think Messi will probably get it, won't he? Because he won the Copa America for Argentina. But I don't think Jorginho should get it just because he was quite good for Italy. But I've got a few more of the things on this show tonight as well. I wanted to do a bit more of a predictions because for whatever reason today a lot of people came out and predicted their made their predictions this season for the FA Cup, the Champions League, everything. And I might not do it all. I'll probably publish an article on Medium about next because I finished off the Tottenham Hotspur one. That one's up there on the Medium account. I've just done the top 6, and then I think I'll do a prediction article and put that up for you guys to have a look. You can obviously let me know what you think. And then see, predict who will win all the leagues in Europe and even, like I say, Player of the Year. We'll even put that in as well. His brother, I think you're talking about Chalobah, maybe a centre-back now for Chelsea. Yeah, I know, it depends on if they've got this. I mean, they want that Koundé, don't they, apparently, but he's probably going to be a few quid, 50, 60 million. And then you've got, they've spent not 100 million. I mean, they got the money, haven't they, Chelsea? They've always got the money, so that's not the problem. But maybe they'll just stick with this Chalobah, and they're playing 3 at the back, so they might need another centre-back. Normally, I think they've got 5 centre-backs in total, 6 now with this Chalobah. Is that enough if you're going to play 3 centre-backs? Maybe it's enough. But if you've got playing 4 centre-backs, it's way too much if you think about it. You don't need 6 centre-backs, do you? Lewandowski for Ballon d'Or. No, I don't think so. The year that Bayern won the Champions League, if he was never going to win it, if he didn't win it that year, I don't think he was ever going to win it. I mean, what's he won this year? The league? But Bayern have not been that special, have they? They were very special when they won the Champions League and they won the treble. I mean, who won it? Was it Ronaldo that must have won it, or was it someone else that won it that year? But if he didn't win it that year, I don't think he'll ever win it. But Jorginho shouldn't be getting Ballon d'Or. Let's just quickly have a look at the odds of the Ballon d'Or, actually. Let's have a look. Who's favourite? Because Jorginho was probably come down a lot. Messi. Of course it's Messi. There's Messi at 2-5. Lewandowski. Lewandowski's second favourite. Jorginho third favourite. I don't know how it works. I think I vaguely remember like the managers and the players all get a vote, and I remember sometimes they voted for some really strange players, because they would tell the media who they voted for, and sometimes some of the managers would vote. Was it Roy Hodgson voted for like Mascherano and someone else, and he didn't even have Messi and Ronaldo. I think it was Mascherano, Ronaldo, and Higuain or something like that. And they all get to vote, and obviously they vote tactically, don't they? So, all of your Ronaldo's mates don't vote for Messi and vice versa. So it looks like Lionel Messi's got that one tucked up, really, doesn't it? 2-5. What's that? 1.2. So yeah, that one's done. They can't see any movement there. But yeah, I mean, obviously I'll do the BBC gossip and I've got another, as I say, I want to talk about the predictions today. But let's keep the show up on Chelsea. I won't be doing the full hour on Chelsea. We'll probably just do maybe 25, 30 minutes on Chelsea, because Chelsea, again, are another boring team to me, like Man City. Sorry, I mean, I obviously all want to get excited, and we all want to get excited, but everything about, I mean, like, they needed a striker. Okay, they probably couldn't get their first choice striker, which might have been Harry Kane, but they've just sorted out Lukaku. I mean, it's a good signing, you know. It is a good signing. I know he's a bit of a donkey, and all the rival clubs fans will be saying, "Oh, he's garbage." And even I've been dunking on him a few times on this channel. But it is a good signing for what they need. He's going to get them goals. He's going to be a menace up front. So I think, I think it was a good signing under the circumstances as well, because it doesn't look as if all the other strikers are available. So who else could you have went for? Maybe another player that you could go for, but they'd be higher risk, wouldn't they? You know, like Mauro Icardi, or if they were to go for his teammate in Lautaro Martinez. I don't think they're as proven as Romelu Lukaku, and especially in the Premier League. So maybe it was a good signing, but we're going to have to wait and see. But I mean, the main question and the main focal point of this one about Chelsea, and as I just said, it bores me a bit, Chelsea, because they're a bit like Man City to me. But are Chelsea as soulless as PSG and Man City? What do you guys think? What are you guys saying? 2020 Ballon d'Or was cancelled because of COVID. I don't know why it needs to be cancelled. That doesn't. If they're all playing football and they're all playing games, why can't someone win Player of the Year? Just do it remotely. Just do it on Microsoft Teams. He will score 25 plus goals with the midfield and wingers. Low risk signing in a way. Who is he? Lewandowski. I think you're talking about, or you're talking about Lukaku. I assume you're talking about. You must be talking about Lukaku, low risk signing. I mean, yeah, but it's expensive if it was Lukaku you're talking about. Yeah, he's going to score plenty of goals, but he's going to miss a lot as well. That's the problem, and those misses will be big misses, not big like sitters, but the difference between Lukaku and other great strikers is when your striker doesn't get hardly any chances in a game and he needs to score it, like Ronaldo would, he'll miss it. He's not that clinical in that regard, Lukaku, but when he's getting loads of chances, he needs like 2 chances to score 1 goal, which is not bad when you're at a good team. But are Chelsea as soulless as Man City and PSG? I think they are. I think they were the first ones that started the trend, I tweeted earlier. What did I put out earlier? Chelsea fans, I don't think, put on it. But I said Chelsea are as soulless as PSG and Man City. They have bought their success with ruthless efficiency and cannot be held in the same regards as Ferguson's United, Wenger's Arsenal, or Paisley's Liverpool. They will all be a small club. No Russian oligarch changes that. And it's true. They were the ones that started it off, Chelsea. They were the ones that started off just buying their way to success, making a bit. I remember at the time they just bought all the best players that they could get available from all the teams that were below them, and they splashed the cash. And then Man City came along, maybe 5 years later, and then they done the same thing, didn't they? They started off a bit poorly with Mark Hughes, and they got Robinho and that, but Chelsea started off this trend of just buying clubs in, and it's not buying clubs in. There's this trend of just buying a lot of players in and not really being, maybe not. Maybe now Chelsea's not a bad football business because they've got a lot of assets in their players. But before, who the hell would have ever bought Chelsea? No one. But that's about it with Chelsea. What do you guys think of Chelsea? Do you think Chelsea are going to win the league? I think they're going to mount I think they're going to come third. Personally, I think they're going to come third, and they're going to be third by quite a while. Quite a distance. They're going to be quite a while off second, maybe 10 points, but then they'll be 10 points ahead of Man United, I think, in fourth. I think they're easily just the third best team in the league. Some of you may argue that they're the second. What do you say? Although Chelsea make money from buying young players and selling them to use that money to sign top players. Yeah, they do. They do, and they loan out loads of players as well, don't they? If you go on Chelsea's team on Wikipedia, it's really quite funny. Go Chelsea, and then you see on returning players like on loan. Check it out. It's like a whole squad of players. Current players out on loan. Like, look at all them players out on loan. We've got what? I mean, that's not as many as normal. They sometimes have like 20 out on loan. Must have like under 23s. I don't know. I thought it was more than that, to be fair. It's not as much as I thought it was. Other players under contract. What does that mean? What does that mean, other players under contract? These players haven't even got squad numbers. There's quite a few players in there that you'd think, what, are they on their way out or something? Are they the ones, so, as of the 12th of August, so they're the ones that are registered? Ah, it's very interesting. Yeah, so Chelsea have got, I mean, they've still got these players. I can't believe Bakayoko's still there. Evening, so, well, that 200 million they spent last season was from Hazard and other transfers. So they don't rely heavily on Roman. Yeah, no, they don't now, but no, I don't know. Yeah, they do. I don't know. Yeah, they do. I mean, they spent 97.5 million on Lukaku, and they're going to spend to probably get that Koundé. I think they still do rely on Roman Abramovich quite a lot to put his hand in his pocket. Loans rules change. Can only have 8 international loans now. I mean, that's interesting because I think Chelsea took advantage of that, and they started off a trend, didn't they, where they just put out players on loan to the European teams, because obviously most of their players were normally English anyway, the Chelsea players, and they'd send them out to the European teams, and it would be a better level than them being out on loan to like Macclesfield Town or somewhere like that. But I mean, maybe if you're in it, what does this mean? Other players under contract? Are these players here not in the match day squad then for Chelsea? Kennedy is still at Chelsea. I can't believe that he's still there. Baba Rahman, there's loads of them. Dujon Sterling, is that Raheem's brother? No, probably not. Danny Drinkwater's still there. Zappa Costa's still there. I can't believe that, how many of them played. Ross Barkley's still there. He'll be on loan somewhere. A lot will be sold this window and next. Yeah, I think so. But how? I mean, who's going to buy Danny Drinkwater? He'll be on. A lot of these players will be on a lot of money. And Ross Barkley. That the only time they'll take them out on loan, wouldn't they, and pay off their wages or something like that. That you know, because Ross Barkley must be on a few quid. Zappa Costa will be on a few quid, but I imagine he's not that bad. I imagine he'd do a job for an Italian team. Can't really remember seeing him play Baba Rahman. But I don't think he's done very well. Batshuayi would definitely do a job for most Premier League teams. He's a good player, but he can't score, which is a bit of a weird thing to say for a striker. Like, he gets himself as in the position, but he can't put the ball in the net, which obviously as a striker you've got to be able to do. Next season only allowed 5 loans. Why? Why do they do that? Why? I wonder why. What were they looking at what Chelsea were doing and saying, you can't do this for what? For what reason though? Because you'd end up with 50 players in the whole squad, and you'd have to make sure that they'd be out on loan. Maybe it was something like that. I don't know. Because that's why all these players. That's why they've got it like this. Are the players under contract? Like if what you said, Entropy King, if they can only do 8, I think you said 8 international loans. All of these here would normally be on loan, wouldn't they? Who's Lewis Baker's there as well? So what's his name? Ruben Loftus-Cheek's in the in the first team squad. Thought he'd be out in the cold as well. But yeah, it's a very strange the amount of players they have. A lot of players. I mean, a few of them are worth a few quid. You know, you get some money, but I don't think you'd be able to get rid of them because of their wage bills. Batshuayi will be on a lot of money. How much did they sign him for? Signed him for like 30 million, didn't they? Signed him years ago as well. Yeah. 2 months later, £35 million bid. Palace Neighbours made a £38 million bid. Jesus Christ. What we're saying here then, they are players not in the Premier League squad and not loaned out yet. But that would be weird. So, I mean, I don't know these rules, but you're only allowed, obviously you're only allowed a certain amount of players in the Premier League squad, right? You can only register at, say, 25. And Chelsea have got they've got a lot of players that they obviously can't fit them all in. So what's going to happen with these players? They still have to obviously get paid their wages, but they just won't be allowed to play. They're not registered, and if no one takes them out on loan, maybe saying something here, Entropy King. No limit on domestic loans. They are just cutting down on clubs gaming it to make money, rather than loans being for youth development. Suppose. But it works. I mean, it's even though they're making money, it works both ways, doesn't it? Because when these Chelsea are sending these players out on loan, they're normally young anyway, and then have they still got Marco van Ginkel? I was totally off the tangent then. And then they come back and then they sell them to another club, and they get money out of it. Yeah, but this player's done well out of it. Everyone's a winner out of the situation, really, if you think about it. Everyone's a winner except who's not winning out of this situation? You know, Chelsea got a player. If he's any good, we'll call him back and he can play. Players like Mason Mount, you know, send him out on loan, send him out. I mean, if they sold Mason Mount, they sold him for like 20 million. Not now, obviously, they'd sell him for a lot more, but before he started playing for Chelsea again. Just like that, the one they just sold to AC Milan, that centre-back, played a few games, sent him out on loan. That Tomori, sell him for 30 million. Tammy Abraham, put him out on loan a couple of times, send him out on loan to like Villa, give him a season at Chelsea, he's a £40 million player. And then dipsticks in the Premier League, they'll pay it, wouldn't they? RLC will probably be sold. Ruben Loftus-Cheek will probably be sold. He'll be on a lot of money though, won't he? And sold to who? Probably someone like Palace or something like that. But yeah, Chelsea, I'm going to say, as I said, are the third place. Let me check if I got my Chelsea article. I did do Chelsea. What do you mean? Where were one of the first ones that I done? But I wrote a Chelsea article. If you want to read a bit more, Spurs one I've put out today. The Chelsea article. It's obviously a bit more in depth. 6-minute read. All about Chelsea, who they've bought, their key players, what team they should be playing, and you know how they will do this season. But let's crack on with some predictions here then. We'll crack on with the predictions because I saw this article today about the BBC, you know, the BBC Match of the Day people, and all of the pundits coming up with their predictions. And then everyone on Twitter was doing their predictions, but I was going to do the predictions. I'll do like a full predictions. I'll put it on as I said earlier, I'll do a Medium article about the predictions for the whole season, but I'll just copy what these guys are saying. It's quite interesting to see. Obviously, they're just saying who's in the top four. I don't think they were asked who's going to get relegated yet, but I imagine that'll be one of the should probably tomorrow or the day after. But it's quite interesting to see. So if you look at all of the people here, I mean, some of the people are like, you know, Alan Sheary's like one of the main guys on Match of the Day. Other ones, Mike Richards is quite on TV quite a lot, but Mark Lawrenson obviously. But the rest of them are obviously just ex-professionals that I can't really remember what much they say. Chris Sutton, I've seen him as a pundit a few times. But obviously they've all went for Chelsea and Man City. No one's went for Liverpool. You know, if you had James Rich here at the bottom, it would say Liverpool. Maybe we will do eventually, I don't know. We'll get and a lot of them have gone for Chelsea actually. I did expect all of this just to be Man City, really. James Rick's predictions on Villa. As I say, we're going to do the top four now and then wait a bit and we'll do my predictions later on. People may going mad about their business, but too many new players. It can happen, but I think their business was pretty good, wasn't it? Leon Bailey, Buendia, Danny Ings. I mean, they've not done bad with the Jack Grealish money. They've basically got 3 players for 1 there, haven't they? And that's about 100 million. And that's and they got them in important positions as well. And they've already got quite good goalkeeper and defenders as it is. So I think Villa might do like the West Ham this season, you know. They could, like, you know, be in the top 4 for a bit and then drop out and then come like 6th or 7th and, you know, be a great season for them. So I think Villa will do well this season. I think they'll definitely be top 10. But let's just crack on with what these guys are saying is their predictions, and then I'll give you mine, all right? Incredible Business Mind. So, as you can see, how many are there? 1, 2, 3. There's 20 pundits on this thing here. And 2, 4, 6, 7 are Chelsea and 13 are Man City to win the league. I'm quite surprised that 7 would be Chelsea. You know, I didn't think Chelsea would be that highly. But I think it's because, I don't know if they asked him if... Oh yeah, I mean, everyone knew Lukaku was going to happen anyway, didn't they? So they're probably saying Chelsea on the Lukaku news. And obviously it must be on the Champions League win as well. And the team, we've went through this Chelsea team many a times. It's got a quality team. Ziyech played well yesterday, didn't he? Apparently, we didn't watch it I didn't watch it yesterday, but I always liked Ziyech at Ajax, and no one really spoke about him too much. But I always rated Ziyech. I think he's a talented player. Um, but some of these here, obviously, they all think Chelsea will win the league, and it'll be Chelsea Man City. But look here. Rob Green thinks Man City are going to come third. I hope Rob Green's right. I hope Rob Green is right. But, you know, is the only one. What else? I think the funniest one that I saw, and then obviously Liverpool are here. Liverpool are not really in any of them, really, are they? What, third place and fourth? Man United, the best Man United have scored is second place, which I can see the best Man United doing is second place if, other teams don't turn up. Some terrible pundits on that list, lol. Yeah, there are, really. And I think as I say, all right, mine first is Liverpool, second is Man City, third is Chelsea, and fourth I say Man United, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's like Leicester or, well, you can't really say the other teams, can you? Because they're not going to get top four. But it wouldn't surprise me if Leicester did beat Man United to it, because I think Man United will be the biggest letdown this season. Buying all these players, Varane and Sancho. I mean, I don't know what they expect at Man United. We'll do a Man United show, obviously, you know that. So I don't know what they expect over at Man United, but they should be expecting to at least challenge the title. Just like Chelsea, it should be a 3-horse race, though. It should be a 4-horse race this season, but it won't be. It should be a 4-horse race between the top four. Man United, Man City, Liverpool and Chelsea. Maybe not right until the last day, but all of them should be in the race until at least March, April time, till the business end, and then it'll probably get down to 3 and then 2, and then obviously leave you with 1. But all 4 of them should be in the title race all of 4 of them by Christmas should be in the title race. But they won't be. Not all 4 of them will be in the title race, I can guarantee you. So yeah, for that, I thought that was quite interesting. As I was saying, I'm saying it's Man United are 4th place. But I think I'll do an article, but I mean, I was thinking of doing every prediction for the Premier League, but I'll probably just do 18 to 20 because it's quite hard, I don't know who's going to come 15th or anything like that. I'll just do the main positions, so the top 6, do the FA Cup, the League Cup, the bottom 3, maybe the Championship winner, Champions League, PFA Player of the Year maybe, top goal scorer, and then, winner of the European Leagues. But the European Leagues are boring anyway, aren't they? Let's be honest, the only one that's going to be quite difficult to call, but I still think Atletico Madrid are probably favourites because of the disarray that Real and Barcelona are in. But the rest of them are givens, aren't they, really? Juventus are going to win Italy, Germany are going to win Bayern are going to win Germany. Who else have you got? France, obviously, is PSG. And then who else? Portugal. Well, the others are useless anyway. So let me quickly, we might probably do maybe not as long a show tonight, because Chelsea was, we've covered a lot about Chelsea. Tomorrow we're doing Arsenal. They didn't imagine if PSG don't win the league. Well, they didn't win the league, Dad, did they, last year? Everyone's expecting them to win the Champions League. I think I saw someone put up earlier, I think it was Mark Goldbridge, actually. He put his predictions up, and he said that Man United are going to win the Champions League. I seriously don't know where he's coming from to think if Man United are winning the Champions League. I don't know how they're ever going to win the Champions League, Man United. Never going to happen. But it's too much of a Man United show. We're keeping it on Chelsea. Chelsea this season, we expect to do well. Tuchel's obviously seems to be a great manager. It's his first proper season, because he's not even been there for that long, if you think about it, has he? He's not even been there for like 7 months. And he's obviously one of them, he's already successful. He's got 2 trophies. I don't really count that one last night as a trophy. If there's any Chelsea fans in the chat, tell us how the Chelsea game was last night, because I didn't watch it. If you were watching the stream, I was just keeping you updated. But by all accounts, it was boring. The only thing that happened was that the goalkeeper came on at the end and helped out with the penalties. And that was about it. And it was in Northern Ireland, which was strange. All right, so let's go quickly over. I mean, transfers bore me a bit, as you guys know, but they are quite funny as well in the same time. Transfer rumours. Let's see what these guys are all saying then. Romelu Lukaku is on the brink of completing. I know that's done. That must have been this morning. That one is done now. It's definitely done. Even Chelsea have put out a tweet officially announcing him, so that deal's done. Spurs could move for Fiorentina's 60 mil Serbian striker Dusan Vlahovic. They sell Harry Kane to City. 60 million for him. Let's see his goal scoring record. I mean, that's a lot of money for him. I mean, I've never heard of him. I don't know if Fiorentina are any good anymore. They used to be alright, but let's have a look. Because that's a good thing with a striker, because you just go on his little profile. You go on his appearances. 77 appearances, 27 goals. It's not exactly wow, is it? Have a look at his international. I mean, he might have been young his first season, he was. But what did he get last season? He done all right last season, to be fair to him. His first 2 seasons, obviously, he was only like 8. Yeah, he was at 19. All right, yeah, he's not done bad, actually. He's had a good season. 37 appearances, 21 goals. And I don't think Fiorentina are that good. So, yeah, maybe he's not that bad. James Rich, first non-promoted manager to get sacked. That's a good question. Non-promoted, it'll be Patrick Vieira. Patrick Vieira at Palace is the first one to get sacked. Because Palace are garbage anyway, and I always thought Hodgson, well, obviously, he's a bit infamous, obviously, because of what happened with England. But I always thought he was good enough Premier League manager, to keep the teams in the league, like teams like Palace, and he was the West Brom manager, wasn't he? He'd always keep the teams. But yeah, I think it'll be Patrick Vieira. I think Palace are going to struggle at the start. And, Palace are quite a unpredictable team. I mean, who have they really got that, except Zaha, that's, any good? Who maybe they'll get that Batshuayi, but they always get Batshuayi, don't they? And he'd be garbage for them as well. I mean, I don't know who they got. They got that Eze, who's not bad. We've spoke about this before on the show. But yeah, I think it'll be Patrick Vieira. I don't think Patrick Vieira will beat Frank de Boer. Haven't Palace got a really hard start? Well, let's have a look at that, see if I was right. Because if Palace have got a hard start, yeah, they'll just lose every game and then they'll sack him. They don't give you any chances nowadays, do they, with the money that's... Why am I saying Patrick Vieira? It's Palace, isn't it? Yeah, with the money that's nowadays, you lose your first 7 games, out you go, son. Get the next guy in, innit? Fixtures, don't want to know. Location. Let's have a look at their fixtures. I don't like how Google does it. I'm not going to go on Palace's website. This will do. I'm not going on Palace's website. Yeah, accept. So they got Chelsea away, then Brentford, then West Ham away, then Spurs, then Liverpool, then Brighton, then Leicester, then Arsenal. Yeah, I think he'll be sacked. He'll probably be sacked by September. I reckon he'll get sacked in September, Vieira. Here we go, clip that. Eze out for 3 months, yeah. They're definitely going to... And they have got a hard start. They've got a very hard start. That's a good thing to look at, actually, which teams have got a hard start. Because I think it's better to have a hard finish, a hard ending, than to start in difficulty, Because if you start off badly, it's just hard to get the momentum back. And, a lot of teams just whimper out, especially the poorer sides. Have you seen Arsenal's fixtures? No, but I'm sure we can. Let's see Arsenal's. Hopefully Arsenal's are quite good. What's he saying? Oh, that's Lukaku. See Arsenal's fixtures. We'll look at Chelsea's as well, because I was doing a show on Chelsea. So they've got Brentford, then they've got Chelsea, West Bromwich Carabao, Man City, Norwich, Burnley, Spurs. They've got one hard game, one easy game. One hard game, one easy game. But Arsenal are going to lose against all the big sides. Let's just quickly have a look at Chelsea, because obviously I was talking about Chelsea in the special, right? It's the Super Week special. Chelsea, what teams? Let's go back to Chelsea. And then let's go back to fixtures. So they've got Palace at home, which, that's... Maybe I'll get Lukaku in the fantasy football team, because he's... I've said that Palace are going to be rubbish. And he's going to be playing up front, isn't he, on his own, number 9. And he's definitely going to play. And he's going to get... I can see him getting a hat-trick there, Lukaku, on his debut. See him getting a hat-trick there against Palace at home. That's a gimme for Chelsea, that one. I think Palace are going to be weak this season. I think they might be lucky to stay up, but it's going to be a dogfight for them. And then they got Liverpool away. Oh, thank you very much. Straight away, bosh. Liverpool away, second game. That's 2 potential champions there playing. Can't argue with that one. Cannot argue with that one. And then they got Villa. Well, that's not easy for Chelsea. I mean, they got an easy first game, and then they got Arsenal away, then they got Liverpool away, and then they got Villa at home. Bloody hell, this is hard for Chelsea. Do you Chelsea fans know if one of you Chelsea fans are out there? Then they got Spurs, and then City at home, and then they got Southampton. All right, then it's easy. October, you're easy, and then November. But, I mean, it'll be very interesting to see how Chelsea start. We'll know if Chelsea are going to win the league. We'll know if Chelsea are going to win the league by the end of September. If they're near the top of the table by the end of September, they could quite easily win the league. But if they're not, I mean, obviously, you could say they could get it back. But, I mean, if they're able to beat the quality that's here, I mean, there's a lot of quality teams there. A lot of quality teams they've got to play, except Palace. But from Palace, from the 22nd, I mean, they'll beat Arsenal. That's what I'm on about. They'll easily beat Arsenal. So, yeah, Chelsea, if you didn't know, Chelsea have got really difficult fixtures. Really difficult ones. Let's have a look at Liverpool's fixtures. You not click through. Why do they do that? Liverpool's fixtures, my champ. I mean, it doesn't really matter what your fixtures are, does it? Anyway, you got to play everyone twice. So, but it is good. I think it is good to have an easier start and then play them when everyone's got used to each other. I don't like that. If I was a Chelsea, I mean, they don't get to decide, obviously, but if I was a Chelsea fan, I wouldn't be that optimistic. Now, Liverpool have got Norwich away, which I said is going to be 5-0, 6-0. Then they got Burnley, then they got the Chelsea game. Then they got Leeds. Then they got Palace, then they got Brentford. Oh, and then they got Man City. That'll be a good game as well. What are you guys saying? Arsenal second game, then Liverpool. That'll be a good game, Chelsea and Liverpool. Yeah, it will be. Didn't realise yet. But Liverpool have got an easier start. I mean, the fixtures don't really matter. They don't really matter, really. But I think Chelsea got a difficult start. Will that matter? I mean, Lukaku, I think, is going to be firing on all cylinders. And I have to have a look back in my fantasy football team. But tomorrow's show will be more about Arsenal, Arsenal are going to kick off the Premier League season. I mean, they've been really quiet, haven't they, in the transfer window? I think they've sort of resigned themselves to knowing that they're not. I mean, remember they used to have so much pride for getting the top 4, Arsenal didn't they? Such top pride getting the top 4. And Wenger done it for all them seasons in a row, and then on his last season he didn't. But now they just look like they're never going to get top 4. They're nowhere near it. So it will be a very interesting one. Very, very interesting one with Arsenal tomorrow. I mean, part of me wants to see Arsenal do well. Because imagine if you got the top 4 doing well, and Arsenal and Spurs. So you got 6 top quality teams. But obviously Arsenal and Spurs doing well is asking a bit too much. Because they're not the same quality as the other 4. So yeah, I mean, what else was I going to cover in this show? Just make it quite shorter. Arsenal could have 1 point out of the first 3 games. They probably will have 1 point out of the first 3 games. I mean, actually, what do I mean? They have to beat Brentford then, don't they, away? And I mean, they're a newly promoted team. Arsenal, an established Premier League team. There should only be 1 winner there. There should only be 1 winner in that game, and that should be Arsenal. But Arsenal do like to entertain us frequently, don't they? They do like to mess up against the smaller sides. And Arsenal are just not that ruthless. They're nowhere near as ruthless they used to be. Even when they had Alexis Sanchez, they were a lot better. James Rich, why would you want Arsenal to do well and miss out on all those dopes on AFTV losing their nuts? Yeah, that's another very, very astute point as well. I agree with you there. I mean, just for the quality of the league, it would be good to see them, do well. Yeah, but why would we want them to do well? I mean, imagine some of them on Arsenal Fan TV. Ty's the best. He was on the It was on the Sky Sports, because Sky Sports has got like some fan. It's called like Overlap, and they got some fan podcast show, live show, and they got the fans in the in the studio, and then they got the Premier League players like Neville and then Keane and Jamie Carragher, and it was quite a good discussion, to be fair to them. And Ty was there; he was arguing with them all the time. You should watch it on the YouTube. There's Sky Sports Overlap. He was there with that other girl. What's the other? I can't remember the other girl's name on Arsenal Fan TV, but that other girl was like his minder. She was like, "All right, Ty, be quiet, be quiet." Because he was going, he was like, "No, I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you." It was so funny. You got to go watch it. Watch it on the YouTube for the Overlap Sky Sports. But Ty, I can't believe he's so serious. Like, people just wind him up, and he keeps taking the bait, doesn't he? Every time he takes the bait, the poor lad. And he's so delusional. I wonder what he does think Arsenal are going to be doing this season. It's been raining. He is a bit of a legend. You know that his art and his he loves Arsenal. Obviously, he's got headphones. He's got a water bottle. He's got literally, in his bedroom at home, he's got all of the, the duvet and all that of Arsenal. He loves Arsenal. But he was so funny with he was whinging at like Roy Keane, Jamie Carragher, and Gary Neville, the three of them. So it was quite funny. He just sort of made it the Ty show. But yeah, my prediction for Chelsea is going to be third place. As I say, I think they'll be 10 points behind. They'll be 10 points behind whoever comes second, which will either be Liverpool or Man City. I think it'll be Liverpool who's going to win the league. If they don't win the league, they'll come second. I think the title race is going to be out of Man City and Liverpool this season again. Because everyone's forgetting how good Liverpool are because of last season. But the season before, Man City and Liverpool were the best two teams in Europe by a country mile. Like, no one else was close to them. And that season before was when, Bayern Munich were, sorry. And then Bayern Munich. But I think Liverpool and Man City are going to get back to that same level. Ty has Arsenal PJs, yeah, most probably does. We were 3-0 down to a pub side. Oh, yeah, that's what Claude used to say back in the day when they were still trying to get rid of Wenger. We were 3-0 down to a pub side. Wake up and smell the coffee. Ty used to make Claude go crazy, though, didn't he? And eventually they done the Ty and Claude show. And that was funny. I don't know if you ever watched the one where they were doing the Christmas show and Troops was there. That one was hilarious. But yeah, Chelsea, we're going to leave it at that with Chelsea. I think they've done everything they can, really, Chelsea, to build a team to going into the next season. They've got a manager that looks like he knows what he's doing. He looks like he's got a plan. He's just won the Champions League. All their players came off winning the Champions League, so they'll all be very, high on life. So I think they're going to do well next season, Chelsea. And if they don't win the league, I don't think they'll win the Champions League. I can't see them winning back-to-back Champions League. If they do, they'll win it like how they won it this year. Nobody expected it. But they could do, if they have a good side. Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea. Well, I assume that's your top three. Yeah, that's my top three. In that order, I agree with you, Liverpool FC 01. I'm not surprised you agree that Liverpool are first. But anyway, thanks a lot, guys. We shall see you tomorrow for Arsenal and the watch-along. So it'll be a bit longer tomorrow. I'll be watching the Arsenal game, keeping you updated. Obviously ripping apart the Arsenal team, hopefully. Because obviously they're not going to be playing well. And hopefully we'll get a nice early Brentford goal. And get the Arsenal fans, they're not going to be happy from the get-go. I think that's quite a small stadium, that Brentford one as well, so it's going to be like a proper traditional... And I think the fans are back as well, aren't they? I think the fans are back. I don't know how it's going to work, but the fans are back. So it should be a good quality Premier League. It'll be the best Premier League game for probably 2 seasons tomorrow. Because all of last season, they didn't have any fans, did they? So if they got the fans in tomorrow, it'll be the best Premier League game for a long, long, long time. So watch it. And we'll be streaming tomorrow. We might stream slightly earlier because it kicks off at 9, But just keep out for our Twitter. I'll let you guys know on our Twitter account. Follow us all on the socials. All of them the same. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. They're all James Rich Show. But thanks for you guys for your questions. Thanks for watching the stream. And we shall see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.